Hello friends, welcome to day 8 of 13 days of Halloween. Today I am making something that I have bought supplies for I'm not even joking, for 3 years.
That's a long time.
Which is kind of impressive but also just kind of annoying. And speaking of annoying, my cat wants to get all into these bags. So in here I have my Disney pins. I do have other pins, but for the most part I am a Disney pin collector, and I've been collecting Disney pins since 2004, so the DIY today will be a way for me to display these pins. Now I don't think all of them are going to fit onto the item that I picked out. However, I do think I'll be able to fit a lot of them.
Oh, snap! Did you see that?
As you probably know, I love Gothic architecture. You can see a shelf there and that shelf behind me from Life After Death Designs. They do a lot of Gothic Revival things, and I kind of want to keep that theme going for how to display my Disney pins. So the other day I went into Hobby Lobby and I got some footage of me there. I also found some other miscellaneous things which I'll share with you as well. However, let's flash back to a couple of days ago when I went to Hobby Lobby. So we're at Hobby Lobby now, so I'm gonna grab my bag and then we'll head inside and see if I can find something that I think would make a good pin board that matches my style in my house. So let's see. Also, I'm kind of curious what kind of fall decor they have, so I guess we're gonna peruse that if there is anything of note. Otherwise, we're just going in and going out real quick like. They have some pretty good florals. Look at that detail. It's like the Addams Family house.
Can you afford that house?
Not seeing the one I saw online anywhere. They have a lot of cool art prints though. Let me show you some.
Ooh.
Okay, I think I found what I was looking for online, so let me flip you around so you can see. Guy. There's also this one down here, which could work. Same with that one. We got options. But I think I like this one the best. Okay, I made it out of Hobby Lobby with a lot more stuff than I was expecting. I was just expecting to find that thing I use for a pin board, and that was it. However, there was a lot of really cool stuff in there. I think I kind of vlogged as I went, so we shouldn't need a recap, but I will show you what I got. Before though, I'm gonna take a drink of this. Yeah, it's still cold. There's still ice in it. So as you can see back here, I got some florals because I was kind of debating on whether or not I wanted to get some leaves, but I wasn't sure where to get them from. And Hobby Lobbies were really inexpensive because, like, look how big this is. Like, this is pretty large. Like, this is maybe 3.5 feet long, and originally it's $10.99, but it was on 50% off, I think, or 40% off, so that's like $5 or $6. Not bad at all considering these are really large. So I got one, and then I got another one. This one's a little bit different for the leaves. I'm not a big fan of the pine cones and little berry bushels, but you know, I don't think it's that noticeable, so it's not that big of a deal. This one again was $10.99, and it's same length, like 3.5 feet or so. That's a really good price, I feel like, for those florals, because they are very, very intricate. I really like how the leaves look pretty realistic. Like, you even got that little crunchy crunch. So by the time, because things are a little bit out of order for my 13 days of Halloween, so you probably have already seen me style these in my decorating video, but as of right now I have not used these to decorate with, so you will see that actually styled probably before this video even shows up. And then I got these little pumpkins because they're only $3.99, and I feel like you could either stick them in something because they do have the skewer, or you could snap the skewer off and then just place them in things, and they look pretty realistic to me. Like, I really liked how the stem was a little bit more straggly and had some vines off of it, so I got 2 of these. And then you'll see my pin board thing. And I got this picture. I really liked it, and I feel like I could just rub some some sort of paint here to make it not so shiny and bright. Just kind of do a little black wash or something on it. But this is a really pretty painting, and it does remind me of a lot of the paintings I saw when I was in Scotland, Ireland. So I'm very excited to put this in my living room. More than likely is where I'll stick it, but who knows? Who knows, honestly. And then, of course, I'm glad I found this pin board because I was kind of worried that I wouldn't find this style. I like this one because it has the trefoils or the quatrefoils on it, and I really like the quatrefoil style. And this one I liked because it was thicker, so I feel like it's easier to place a pin board backing onto it. So this will work perfectly. It wasn't on sale, unfortunately, so it's $44.99, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. Everything I bought was about $80 total. Here's the pin board in question. I love this one. I am the biggest fan of tracery and quatrefoils. They are my favorite thing. And my thought process was, I don't really want to do much in terms of creating stained glass. I'm kind of hoping my pins make that effect themselves. So I might try and group pins together based off color if I can, and then kind of lay it out that way on here, so that way it kind of emulates a stained glass look. We'll see if that works or not. However, I am just happy to have some way to display my pens. Right now, the only thing I have to display my pens is this. I also got some Life After Death designs. And while I like it, it's not very large. It doesn't hold that many pins. This takes up a lot of space, so it'll be nice to have other ways of displaying them. Now, the supplies that I gathered for this are obviously this guy. I also have pens, pencils, paintbrushes, of course. I bought this stuff, which let's hope it works. It's been sitting around for a couple years. It's called Magic Coat. It's surface coating for painting styrofoam, and it's supposed to transform craft foam shapes into smooth, hard, paintable surfaces. So I don't know if I'll need this on the whole entire foam board that I got, which the next thing you'll need is some foam board. I got a really gigantic piece, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do for my pin board and how big of a piece I would need, so I just thought I'd buy the biggest thing possible and then go from there. So, Magic Coat, foam board. And then we have a foam cutter here, and I think that's really all that we need. Obviously my pins, so before we get into making my craft here today with you guys, I figured I'd show you some of my favorite pins that I have. Most of them I'm going to show are the ones that are Halloween related or Haunted Mansion related, just because I feel like that's more on brand for my 13 Days of Halloween. However, you may see a couple Lilo and Stitch ones thrown in just because that was the first pens I started collecting was Lilo and Stitch. I was the biggest fan of that movie when I was a teenager, because I think they started really getting into making pens at Disney in 2004, and that's when I was fortunate enough to be able to go during that whole time period. And because of that, I bought a ton of Disney pins. They're small, they're easy to carry on. They weren't that expensive back then, especially compared to now. So I'll show you a couple of those just because I love Lilo and Stitch. Starting off with this pin board, I have two of these pins from Bats Day at Disneyland. I wish they would make more of these Bats Day pins. Like, they're so detailed and remind me of the Haunted Mansion. They're just really nicely made. They're from 2019, and I've yet to see them make more Bats Day pins, and I really wish that they would. These two pins I got from Lively Ghosts, and I really like them a lot. This one, I love teacups, so it really spoke to me. This one, I love how it has the stained glass look to it. We all know I love stained glass. Got this bat pen from a national park. My sister gave me this pen. Here's another Haunted Mansion one. I love it because it looks like a tarot card. Then this one I also got from Lively Ghost. So it's supposed to look like the wallpaper, and it's like one of those cards you can get from Home Depot for the paint. This one is the Skeletons Dancing. It's a hidden Mickey pin. Not remember where I got that one. This one's also a hidden Mickey pin, and it features Jack Skellington on a candy corn. Since we're on the topic of Jack Skellington, we'll move into my Nightmare for Christmas pins. So I have this pack. They are from a mystery pack set. I never did finish it. I don't remember how many pens there were, but I did get these three. The fun thing about these is, as you can see, they link together, so it forms a train. So I am glad at least got Jack Skellington, so that way at least it kind of makes sense as a train flowing together. Next up is this Zero pen. Zero is my favorite character, and it's harder to come by any pens with him on it, so I was happy to find this one. So this pin here is part of a bigger set. It is from a mystery pack set that it features a bunch of Mickey hats, and this one is obviously Halloween Town for Night Before Christmas. This one I really enjoyed because it's a mashup of Night Before Christmas and the Haunted Mansion, and if you've ever gone to Disneyland during Halloween time or Christmas, you know they do a mashup of both of them, so I enjoyed that this pin kind of emulated that. This pin set I actually got from Disneyland Paris, and I thought that this one was just elegant and looked really nice, and it reminded me of the Disneyland silhouettes that you can get done. This one was also from Disneyland Paris. It's Phantom Manor. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go on the ride because they were doing refurbishments at the time, but I still love this pin nonetheless. Moving into Halloween pins now. This one is a Mickey Ghost. Next up is this Halloween Trick and Treats 2020 limited release pin. I love all the design details on it. I love the cauldron with its kind of vintagey looking cartoon face. It has a bunch of fun elements. Olaf's head. Move your head, man. This is a random pin I decided to throw in here. It is more fall, so I thought it made sense, but it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and there are leaves blowing on a blustery day, and then this pin has a fun element where Pooh Bear slides back and forth from the breeze. We have this, technically it's a pin, just not the same sort of pin. It's my Character Dining 96 Disneyland Hotel pin. I don't know how I saved this all these years, but I'm glad that I did. Moving down, we have two Hunchback of Notre Dame pins. Hunchback of Notre Dame pins are so hard to come by, so I was glad that they released a 25th anniversary edition in 2021. I got this one with Esmeralda and her goat. I'm spacing his name at the moment. Then obviously we have our three gargoyle friends. These ones have fun elements. I love the stained glass element behind the gargoyles, and then I love how they made the red sparkly and Esmeralda's scene here. Next up we have Gideon's Bakehouse. It is a pin featuring the gargoyle and the G of Gideon's Bakehouse. If you get a chance to visit Gideon's Bakehouse in Disney Springs in Orlando, I totally recommend. It has such cool artwork inside, and the cookies and cake are so good. Please go if you're ever around in Orlando. Here are some Stitch pins I picked out for y'all. I have so much more, but these ones are some of my favorites. So the first one I have is a mashup between Steamboat Willie and Stitch. So instead of Mickey Mouse, it's Stitch driving the boat. This next one is a mashup of Beauty and the Beast and Stitch is hanging on the chandelier, and then Beast and Belle are kind of looking at him with a strange face because why is he up there? And this element moves back and forth. And if you remember the previews when they were releasing Lilo and Stitch, this was actually a commercial that they made. And this last mashup one that I have is Lady and the Tramp with Stitch, and he's just devouring their pasta. These ones are scenes from the movie. This one is Stitch in his alien outfit. And then this one is him squishing Lilo drinking the coffee. And if I can zoom in farther, you can see the coffee is like a 3D element onto the pin. And I thought that that was really, really fun. Next up is Mickey's Toontown Fair with Lilo and Stitch driving one of those cars. Another scene from the movie is when Stitch is being used as like a gramophone essentially. And the last Stitch pin I have to share with you guys is this one because this scene in the movie is just so precious to me, and I just love when the little ducks come by at the end when the credits and he rates to all of them. It's so sweet. So next up I have these pins, which aren't really Halloween or anything. I just thought that they were cool because they were cereal boxes. So this one is Thingamabobs, and it's with Ariel and Flounder. And then let me see if I can get inside it without jiggling you guys too much. So inside you can see it's shaped cereal. This one has starfish and other sea species inside as the cereal pieces. And then her thing down here is a fork. Next up is this one. It's based off Brother Bear, and it's called Bear Brunch. And I love that it has Rut and Took on it. If we open up inside. So I'm not sure what Rut and Tooks is supposed to be on the inside, but I think it's just supposed to be berries and then little crunchies. And then we have the Brother Bear bear thing. I forget what it's called. I haven't watched Brother Bear in a while. I really should watch it again. Next up is a Nightmare Before Christmas one. This one is Oogie Boogie's Frightfully Yum Surprises Inside. And then it's probably no surprise. This one's my favorite. On the inside, it's just a bunch of bats. And then his little thing down here is his dice. Next up is Jack Jack's Cookies and Milk. And look at Jack Jack. Based off The Incredibles. And then inside is obviously a bunch of cookies, which reminds me of Cookie Crisp. And then the emblem down here is, of course, a cookie. And the last one I got from this collection is Genie's Magic Lamp Loops. And I love how a genie is the bee, because I don't know, it reminds me of Cheerios that way. Then down here is the Scarab Beetle. And then the inside of this one is those little loops. And also there's some lamps in here. I don't have very many Hocus Pocus pins, but I do have this mystery box set. I don't know where Winifred went. This is the other one I got in the box, but I do have Binks here. I love how Binks is like a purple sparkly enamel. Moving into the Haunted Mansion pins, and I have quite a bit of them. I got this one. It's a carousel horse, and it was in a mystery pack of different carousel horses based off of the rides. This one has so many fun details related to the Haunted Mansion. This is one that my friend Hillary gave me, and it's so cute because, again, it's the horse, and it has a Madame Leota on its little nose. I think that's so cute. I have these, I think they're hidden Mickey pins. One is just the Haunted Mansion sign on the outside, and then this one is the Orlando version of the Haunted Mansion. I have a couple different mystery packs. This is the two I got from this one. Let me see if I can show you. Not so good, but yeah, these are the two that I got from this pack. These two I believe I got in 2020. I really liked the design that they did for the Haunted Mansion this year with the color scheme and making it kind of more minimalistic but still spooky. So here we have the bride in front of the Haunted Mansion, and then we have the Hatbox Ghost. Moving on to these ones were also a part of a mystery pack. However, I couldn't find that many of them, so I ended up ordering some of them online. So these are the ones I have. This one is a Haunted Mansion pin, and it features the Disneyland Haunted Mansion, which personally is my favorite out of the two between Orlando and Anaheim. And behind it is the Haunted Mansion wallpaper. This one, I'm still not really sure what it's supposed to be for the red character down at the bottom, but I really like him. And then it says Frights on it. I really like the font that they picked. Next up is this one. It has, again, the wallpaper background. I think all of them do. It just varies between it being black or being purple. This has the tombstones that you can find outside of the Haunted Mansion. And then this one is our lovely ballerina. I forget her name. Sally? Next up is this mystery pen pack, and I was pretty close to getting through all of them. This one has a lot of really unique pens that you don't normally see for Haunted Mansion. And then I have two of these ones. These ones were supposed to be the hall portraits that you see, and so I really liked the ones I got, especially since I got this vampire guy. He's my favorite. I don't really know if it's supposed to be a vampire, but I'm going to assume he's a vampire based off of his attire he has on. The last pen I'll share with you guys here is this one. It says, "Beware, a toy will follow you home," and I love how it's a mashup between Toy Story and the Haunted Mansion. So let's start crafting and get into our floor troll mode, as the YouTubers like to say.
Trolling me.
Excuse me, I'm a troll.
Step number 1 of our pin board, I think, should be us cutting out our foam so it fits that wall decor piece we got from Hobby Lobby, and then we'll go on to painting it. I'll go into some ideas of what I think for some paint. I don't want to cover the whole entire thing, like I said, because I want the pins to kind of be the stained glass element, but I do want to add some little details which will help, I think, give more of the illusion of it being stained glass. Step number 1, let's trace around our pin board thing here, and then I'm going to take this foam cutter and take the little tool and put it on. Nice for safety, for sure, except for Olaf not being very safe by being near a sharp object, but I'm just cutting it out. Wee-hee, and making sure that it fits once I do. And the only thing that got in my way was the little top part where you're supposed to hang it on the wall, so it's easy to cut out, and bam. Next up, taking my magic coat, and I'm putting it around the edges where I cut, because there's foam literally everywhere, and so this hopefully will try and keep it at bay. It did kind of help, but I actually went back in with some hot glue because it could have been more smooth. Why I decided this project was fun. You got me, because this is just foam getting everywhere central. But yeah, I'm just gonna glue gun the sides down a little bit. I don't know if I have more glue, so I'm gonna be a little bit sparse doing this, and then I think I'm going to paint it all black, actually, because I put it with the Hobby Lobby like wall decor thing, and it's just a lot of white going on. So I think to help with the contrast with the pins, black will be a good idea for the front of this. So we're going to do that, and then I'll come back.
What's making that noise?
Oopsie.
How to do? We got our thing painted black. It's a little bit tacky, but for the most part, it's dry. So we're going to hot glue it into this, like so, and move on from there. I do have an idea for the lead window look to go with stained glass. We'll see if it turns out. I'm thinking to do some white lines going down here. I'll show a picture of what I mean by like the white lines for a reference so you can kind of see my inspiration photo. I feel like that'll add a little bit of visual interest, or it may not do anything. I'm not really sure. Using my big math scales, I measured out that part and then divided it by 3, and so I made 2 dots to kind of make sure everything was even Stevens, and then I went back in and then hot glued little diamonds in the center to kind of replicate the image that I showed you guys earlier. And we're just doing that 4 times. Now I'm trying to make straight lines that connect each point of the diamond. However, some were better than others, but I think I got more of the hang of it as I went along using the hot glue gun and figured out better ways to pull my hand so that way it wouldn't drip in weird ways. That was really the hard part, was making sure I didn't put too much one area. But with the next step, we are painting it a cream color, so I think that'll help kind of hide any flaws that I have with the hot glue gun. So I just used an outdoor paint that I had hanging around and tried to find one that kind of best matched the frame that we're using. I think this one did a pretty good job. After we paint our little diamonds and lines, we're going to go ahead and put our pins on our board and try to figure out how I'm going to lay them out. Now, what you see here is definitely not remotely the design that I had at the end, but I think it was a good starting point for me to see where I needed to put more color in and where I liked things being placed. So in the reveal, it won't be anything like this, but hopefully this will give you an idea of like how much I flipped around. So the reveal will happen in 3, 2, 1. Hope you guys enjoyed making this pretty simple DIY. It's just a foam board placed inside a wall decor piece. Nothing really special about it, but it is nice for displaying my pens. My pens before this were just stored in my closet and I never was able to get a chance to look at them, so now I can look at them all the time. Which one was your favorite pen if you have one? Again, let me know down below if you also collect pens, and if you do, what are your particular interests with pens, whether it's Disney or non-Disney. Please let me know down below. Besides mugs, this is the other thing that I heavily collect. As you can see, Day 9 tomorrow is actually going to be a rest day. Originally I had planned to do my short film, however I don't want to rush that short film whatsoever, so I'd rather take my time to edit it and make sure that it looks good and preview it to friends and family first before I publish it onto YouTube. So that was originally supposed to be my plan for Day 9, however that's going to get bumped to after 13 days of Halloween, and at some point you'll see it in November. I just didn't want to rush trying to get that out for this thing. To me, it needs more time, and I don't want to try and rush something and post it, especially something like that. So no video tomorrow, but we'll be back together on Day 10 to do our tour of my apartment and how it has been decorated for Halloween. So we'll get to the bathroom and bedroom that we didn't get to before, and you can see how I've decorated those, as well as any tweaks I may have made in the living room, dining room, and kitchen since you've been gone. Thanks for joining me today on 13 Days of Halloween, and I will see you on Day 10 for another video.